None yet, but store hereafter from the earth up hither like aerial vapours flew, of all things transitory and vain, when sin with vanity had filled the works of men. Both all things vain, and all who in vain things built their fond hopes of glory or lasting fame, or happiness in this or the other life. All who have their reward on earth, the fruits of painful superstition and blind zeal, not seeking but the praise of men, here find fit retribution, empty as their deeds. All the unaccomplished works of nature's hand, abortive, monstrous, or unkindly mixed, dissolved on earth, fleet hither, and in vain, till final dissolution, wander here. Not in the neighbouring moon, as some have dreamed, those argent fields more likely habitants, translated saints, or middle spirits hold betwixt the angelical and humankind. Hither of ill-joined sons and daughters born, first from the ancient world those giants came with many a vain exploit, though then renowned. The builders next of Babel on the plain of Shinar, and still with vain design new Babels, had they with wherewithal would build. Others came single. He who to be deemed a god leapt fondly into Etna flames, Empedocles, and he who to enjoy Plato's Elysium leapt into the sea, Cleombrotus, and many more too long, embryos and idiots, eremites and friars, white, black, and grey, with all their trumpery. Here pilgrims roam that strayed so far to seek in Golgotha him dead who lives in heaven, and they who to be sure of paradise, dying, put on the weeds of Dominic, or in Franciscan, think to pass disguised. They pass the planet seven, and pass the fixed, in that crystalline sphere whose balance weighs the trepidation talked, and that first moved. And now St. Peter at heaven's wicket seems to wait them with his keys, and now at foot of heaven's ascent they lift their feet, when lo, a violent cross wind from either coast blows them transverse 10,000 leagues awry into the devious air. Then might ye see cowls, hoods, and habits, with their wearers tossed and fluttered into rags, then relics, beads, indulgences, dispenses, pardons, bulls, the sport of winds, all these, upwhirled aloft, fly o'er the backside of the world far off, into a limbo large and broad, since called the paradise of fools, to few unknown long after, now unpeopled and untrod. All this dark globe the fiend found as he passed, and long he wandered, till at last a gleam of dawning light turned thitherward in haste his travelled steps. Far distant he descries, ascending by degrees, magnificent, up to the wall of heaven, a structure high, at top whereof, but far more rich, appeared the work, as of a kingly palace gate, with frontispiece of diamond and gold embellished. Thick with sparkling orient gems the portal shone, inimitable, unearthed by model or by shading pencil drawn. These stairs were such as whereon Jacob saw angels ascending and descending, bands of guardians bright, when he from Esau fled to Paddan Aram, in the field of Luz, dreaming by night under the open sky, and waking cried, "This is the gate of heaven." Each stair mysteriously was meant nor stood there always, but drawn up to heaven sometimes viewless, and underneath a bright sea flowed of jasper or of liquid pearl, whereon who after came from earth, failing arrived, wafted by angels, or flew o'er the lake, wrapped in a chariot drawn by fiery steeds.